Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Let's celebrate it with or without champagne.
Hello, my friends. Oh, we're here. Welcome. I better open my page on LinkedIn in case StreamYard and LinkedIn are not talking as I should be. But Tabaloba, I'm so glad to have you here, my friend. Welcome. You know, it's another Tuesday.
Learning.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for being here. So I can see Mr. Calm is here, so that always helps. Mr. Calm, incidentally, this came to mind this morning. Right. Join the studio and tell us what you're talking about, Michael. So, there's more people here. Natalie, I see you as well. Welcome. So glad you're here. It looks like your Global World Forum thing is over. So I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it says hi, Nat here. Hi, Annie. And hi, Tobiloba as well. I will say hi to you, Natalie. Welcome. Should I turn my TV down? Oh, I might turn my TV down. Otherwise, it gets distracting. So, right. I have to fight through my fan to get there. But now, so welcome everyone. Right. Today is a good day. Today is the start of a new series for Africa Business Talks. Tabaloba and I, we're working on a project. So let me try and explain it. See, I guess we figure, maybe it's an extension of what I've been talking about. What's missing, why African entrepreneurs not doing better than why they're not successful, why they're not always successful, why somebody's struggling, whether it's in business or in their personal lives. I guess we figure that we are not applying what we know works. So I guess Tabloba and I definitely agree that at the heart of success is mindset, and that's how we think. And for some unknown reason, many Africans don't think the way they should. They don't think the way they can, the way that works, the way that makes the universe bend to our will, the way that makes things the way we want it to be. It's a weird thing, right? So we know what to do, but it seems like we are doubting, we're reluctant. One of our gripes with Tobliba and I that we agree on is that people don't take action on what they know. And it's no surprise that life is hard if you don't think correctly, you don't think the right things, and two, if you don't actually take action to enable your thinking to create your reality. So now we've got a whole series of workshops. So we're working with Coach David, Zion, and we're going to start supporting people to change their lives, literally by thinking differently. That's a logic. That's our logic, right? We need to begin to really apply what we know. And so I guess we know what works. I know what's changed my life. I know what's changed my business. I know what's got me to where I am today. And most of the time is, yes, of course I'm educated, but yes, of course I work hard. But deep down, until I started learning about mindset, so say 3 or 4 years ago, I was going nowhere at all. I was going around in circles. Today I get a customer, tomorrow I lose a customer. I think one of my coaches called it is having a leaky bucket. It was like a leaky bucket never gets full. Yeah, and he basically broke it down and said that if you've got holes in your bucket, there's no way you're gonna fill it up with customers to make enough money to have a successful business and have the life that you dream of. Made perfect sense, right? So that's when I guess I started realizing there's more to it than just what I do. Yeah, of course. Now, when I got my mindset coach, Donna Martin, she spent a long time drumming into me the power of thinking, the power of genuinely thinking. It's how we think. It's how we think that determines what we become. Like Christiana puts it well. She says, "What you see in your mind, what you conceive in your mind, is what your body experiences," and that is just plain fact. There's no question about it, right? So but of course, like many people, I know the concept. I've struggled to apply the concept for years. And while I was struggling to apply the concept, nothing changed. Nothing changed. These days I'm getting better at applying the concept, and I'm seeing drastic changes. So now I don't beg for customers; they come to me. I can even dream them up, literally. Anyway, welcome Tracy. I see you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank the Lord. Hello, Toby. That's you there, Mr. Calm. I don't say they see you yet, but I know you're here, Mr. Calm. It's fine. So today I want to talk about the power of dreams and the power of dreams, not the funny dreams that you see in your sleep. There's a saying that the person you should fear the most, the most dangerous person, is the person who dreams whilst they're awake, because when we dream when we're awake, we can create a different reality. We can create anything. We can create genius. We can create amazing things. They're gonna change the world, right? Right. Yes, Natalie. Natalie says a quote from Christiana comes from the book The Body Keeps Score. Yeah. There's issues by tissues. Nah. Yes. The body keeps score. But let me hear from my friends on stage first before I go into. I want to break down what dreaming means, what it is, and how it works. I've got videos to show you, of course. I like to show videos. There's a video that makes my point very well. But I want us to go through the stages, and I want to see how it applies to your lives, my friends. I guess any comments, any questions. If you have a different point of view, I want to know what that is, right? So don't be shy. If you want to join the studio, my friends, the link is on the event page. Let me share it again here, just so that make it easier for you. So where am I? LinkedIn. Yeah. So here we go. There's a link. So if you want, come on, talk about the power of dreams. So of course, the link I just shared in the chat, you have to copy and paste that into your browser to join the studio. Otherwise, the link is in the comments section. So do go there and do join us and come and share your thoughts. How do dreams affect you? How dreaming affected you? How do you dream? How do you apply your dreams? What's the provisos, the elements, the criteria that we have to be aware of to make our dreams a reality? That's my conversation today, my friends. We're going to leave close to on time today, so close to 7 o'clock, because I have another show this evening. I got a show with Dr. Philip, and our spotlights. He's a proper doctor, Michael, and so he's going to come and do funnies to make me laugh. That's what any spotlight is, right? So hopefully you join us. Of course, you can ask him health questions because he's a real doctor who's now transitioned to holistic medicine. Anyway, enough talking from me. Toby Loba, talk to us. How are you doing, my friend? Toby Loba, talk. Yeah, no, stop doing your phone.
I'm much okay. I'm very fine, and I've basically been listening to all you've been saying, and when you say like it's not the dream we have, while we sleep that you're talking about, it got me laughing. Like I just laughed out loud. because many of us we have funny dreams that we don't take action. I don't care how much you could be able to dream. There has to be plans, there has to be strategies, there has to be things you have in places to make your dream come through, to make your dream a reality, right? So there's a pattern in which our dream do come true. And that's one of the things we need to have at the back of our mind, that when we are dreaming, the best way to make your dream to a reality is to wake up from the dream, is to wake up from the dream and make a plan for your life, right? So I think this is just an introduction to, how do we, what is dream? How do we make our dream come to reality? What's the best way to dream? How does even dream come about? How do we dream? There's a pattern in which we used to dream. I remember when I was very, very young, I dream about what we play, the kind of plays, the kind of any game we have during the day. That's what I do dream about. And that's basically send a signal to me, like your environment will actually shape the way you dream. Your circles will actually shape the way you dream. The people you talk to on daily basis will shape the way you dream. So there's what brings about the dream, and there's a way in which dream come to pass. So we need to understand that in two pattern, and that's what we're going to be breaking down. Right? I'm going to use my mic now, while we talk more on that as later on this show. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry.
Thank you. No, exactly that, my friend. It's about how we dream, what we dream about, and how we can use our dreams to create our reality and create a future, the life that we actually want, the present and the future, right? Miss Yolanda, hello, Yolanda. We're meeting tomorrow, right? We've got this last bit of recording to do, Yolanda. So we are on to writing your book. I think tomorrow we're going to talk about DNA, people who avoid DNA, Yolanda. So that's our topic, right? And then we'll begin to work towards a conclusion. Even though I'm thinking, Yolanda, we might want to do the conclusion last after all the content's done. But I think at least let's begin to get an idea of what you want to leave the readers with. My friends, Yolanda's book is coming out soon, so we're good for a third of the way writing the book now. So it starts with recording the content and then transcribing the content. And Yolanda and I will watch for weeks on this. There are a few more weeks to go, but welcome, Yolanda. DM, WhatsApp me. Let me know what time we can do tomorrow. I was going to do a show, but I'm going to leave my day empty. I think I've got a show at 3:30 in the morning on Thursday with Noni Pepperoni. Verani, her surname is, right? So we're going to talk about life for immigrants in the Western world. Some realities. If Tabuloba, it's 3:30 in the morning, so that means what's that? You might wake up in the morning on Thursday to join the show. I'll be awake because it's my
The
show,
way my
right?
sleeping from these days, I could something whatever you make plan for, you can come. If I want to take my
If you're there, I'll be so surprised. Americans who I expect to be there, right? Because for many of them, for the best of them, it is 10 o'clock. So it's
soon the time is coming whereby you'll be seeing me live round the clock. Soon.
Yeah, good.
Live round the clock. I'll
Yeah,
just, I just know what I'm here for, though.
it's tiring though. Tiring. See, and last night I stayed. Of course, I stayed up because I work at night, right? But I haven't been to sleep today. I tried to go to sleep, and I thought, I got things. Excuse me. I got things to do, so I can't go to sleep because otherwise I'll probably be asleep now. So I just got up. I'm like, yeah, okay. 10 a.m. Yolanda, it's all yours. It's all yours. That's 3 o'clock my time, right? EST. Okay, superb. I'll be there. I'll be there for sure. Okay. It's doing those late nights, Tabuloba, it can take its toll. Because it affects your day next day. Of course it does, right? But
Yes.
it has to be done. That's the only time no one can make it. So,
Mm.
Dr. Lisa, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here as well. You know, if any of you feel brave, feel free to join the studio. This conversation, I think, applies to all of us. It's not, I think, I know it applies to all of us. So I'd love to learn from your strategies, from your concerns, from your maybe you got different ways, right? So do come and share with us. Mr. Calm, you've been on stage for a long time. How are you doing, my friend?
Not bad. How about yourself? You doing well?
Yeah, you're here, so I'm doing great.
I'm fantastic. There is something that you have actually brought forth that has got me thinking quite a bit, and it relates to what you've been that we've been talking about, and what I've been thinking about this morning as well. When we dream, that is a pure state that allows communication with supernatural beings at a wavelength or frequency that's uniquely attuned to the universal streamline. A streamline wherein anything can happen. Let me state that again. A streamline
I'm
wherein
muting myself. I'm
anything
saying
can
yes,
happen.
yes, 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 yes. I totally
Anything
agree.
in your imagination can happen.
And even
And
beyond the
anything that is
imagination.
outside of your imagination can
Yes.
happen. I say this because I have experienced this. I have experienced flying, swimming, running, walking, doing backflips, all in a dream. I've also been doing supernatural things, like imagining supernatural things, like giving birth to 10 babies at one time. This is actually fact. A woman actually did this in Great Britain. She was an African woman, but she did this in Great Britain. She gave birth to 10 babies in one time. It's fact, but you can also consider it being supernatural as well. But where did she get that? Did she dream it up? I'll let you to decide that. There's also another thing that you can do, building and working with Gundams. When I say Gundam, you have to understand, you have to go take a look, go ask your kids. Your sons and daughters know what a Gundam is. By now, they should know what a Gundam is. And it came from a Japanese anime. That's where it started out. Maybe it started out somewhere else, but I'm not so sure about that. But that's the next evolution from AI, is we're going to start working on Gundams and promoting Gundams. They're going to have many uses, etc., etc. But the most important thing about this streamline, most important, is for communicating with gold. What do I mean by gold? Gold, if you actually break it down, it's an acronym. It's the acronym for giver of life and death. Gold is an acronym for giver of life and death. In other words, communicating with someone who you commonly call God, or otherwise known as God. And I leave it up, I leave it there for the next bit of iteration or communication that we get through during the course of this presentation.
Yeah.
Any, I leave it up to you.
Thank you so much, my friend. Now, interesting goals, giver of life and death. Mm. I wonder what that giver is. I suppose your dreams is what I think you're suggesting it is, right, Michael?
Yes, the streamline. That's,
Mm.
basically I woke up and these are my thoughts. They just start coming through the ether.
Excellent. I like that. I do like that.
What you call dreaming while awake.
Yeah. Nothing. I am excited, and today it's always great to have my friends understand where I'm coming from. So of course, let me turn my sound down on my YouTube. It's I guess when I set these events, I don't worry. I think is anyone gonna get it? Yeah, yes, but no. So it gives me joy that you get it for sure, Michael. So and Tabanova gets it as well. Here's a question for both of you because you're Africans. Lysander, I see you. Welcome. So glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. I haven't seen you for a while, Lysander, but so it's a true joy to see you today. Hopefully, life is going good for you. So, Tobiloba and Michael, do Africans, do the people you know? I mean, I don't know what I'm asking. What I'm asking a rhetorical question. Do the people you know understand the power of dreams? Do they use their dreams the way they could to achieve success in life? Tabaleba, you're in Nigeria. What's no, Marco? If you want to go first, please. Give me your idea. Of course, people in Africa and Uganda, especially. So, do the people understand how to use their dreams to affect their lives?
No, they are suspicious of
Um,
supernatural
okay, it's not-
things.
Yeah.
Um, Understanding where it comes from and how it applies to their lives. For some people say that they're getting prophecies, and that's why they call themselves prophets. So you do get some people who actually do that. They start talking, prophesizing, and saying that they're getting it from God. And they talk about this, false prophets. So we do have them. They're there, some of them. But I think for the most part, people who actually do have that kind of communication
Hmm.
are steered away from using it from a very young age because it is considered taboo, or um, it is considered not natural. Um, there has been a lot of negativity associated with it, which is not true. And
I
the
hear.
reason why I say it's not true, and the reason why I say it's not true, is because it's been under attack for the purpose. Another system has been introduced into their mind, and this goes back into colonial purposes. Why they think science is more important and relevant, and also for control. Basically, control people, their minds, and how they think. You cannot do that while they're in the dreamland. You cannot control people while they're in their dreamland and thinking of their own things. You control them in the here and now and subject them to do the things that you want them to do because you want their resources and you want their labor. And so if they're thinking about other things, you're not going to have their attention to the resources that you need.
I say interesting. Interesting,
That
Mike.
is the negative side of of things. But yeah, so my answer would be yes and no, and
Mm.
more, I lean more to the negative side of things. No, because of those reasonings. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, because it does
Yeah.
happen. I'm not so sure about Nigeria.
Mm. Tabalova can shed light on, I guess, the people he knows. You know, Tabalova, what say you? Do the people you know use their dreams to create reality, to transform their lives?
The answer is going to be 90% of them is no. Maybe, let me say 95% is no. While we just have 5% or even less than 5% that look into their life. That's why you see that. First thing I want us to know is that every action have consequences. It has both negative and positive. And when we look around, when we look at Africa, the high rate of poverty, like poor mindset, poor mentality, is more than the people who are actually living right, who are doing the right thing, who are living their best life. And that is to tell us that a lot higher percentage of Nigerians, Africans, they think in negative direction. They
mm,
think wrongly. That is
mm,
why they are ending up in the same destination. That's why they are getting the same result. That's why they are having the same complaint. That's why they are struggling. Do you understand? So
mm.
what we know is that many people think they're actually living their best life, whereas they are living the life that is given to them by the society. There's only few
Yes.
people that stand up to themselves that basically look within them and feel like this is what I want to do, and they stand up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Only few, only few people does that.
Mm,
So, and for the evidence to know that what I'm saying is true is that you have higher people who are struggling with their life. A lot of people are struggling to achieve. A lot of people are struggling to become better. A lot of people are struggling to live their best life. That's because everybody sleep and they dream the same dream. And
mm,
the same dream is going to bring the same reality.
mm. Yeah. 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 Look, I'm
But
totally like, I get where you're coming from, Tobelo, but this is the frustration, right?
yep, what
Yeah.
Tobolova is talking about is cognitive dissonance,
Um,
extreme cognitive dissonance.
Go on, explain, Michael. No, explain.
The cognitive dissonance is a habit that you learn, that you pass on to your children, that you pass on
Are
to
you
your
there?
grandchildren,
Yeah, yeah,
or
we're here. We're here.
and and
Yeah.
and they never get out of it. They
Mm,
remain there stuck, thinking that
mm,
that is all they have, that is all they can do, and
yeah.
that is how they remain. And
Yes.
they go to bed thinking the same way, they wake up thinking the same way, go to bed the same way, thinking the same way, their entire lives.
Yep.
They bear children, they bring children into the world, and the children actually come up differently, they think differently, they ponder differently, but they're stifled.
Mm,
But that's
yes.
also part of the cognitive dissonance, because
Mm,
them, as when they grew when they were growing up as children, they were stifled too. They had all
yeah.
these ideas, but they were stifled. So they
Yeah.
think that they cannot share their ideas, they cannot have these ideas. They should
Mm,
not have these ideas. They shall not have it because it's going to be it's negative. It's going to affect their lives, but they have no proof of it. But they know, but it's been stamped out before they could even prove it, before they can
mm,
even chase it. It's been stamped out. Tell them,
yeah.
you can't think of that. You should not think of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
look,
that is what we do to children,
it is. No,
unfortunately.
no, it really. This is the weirdism that we have. Tobalova, you come back. You froze for a second.
Yes, yes, the connection. So, and as long as we continue to think the same way,
Mm,
definitely we are going to get the same result.
yeah.
Because we are
Yeah.
going, like, we are, if you board the same flight, definitely, even if you are going to have a stopover, we are going to alight in the same airport. Even if we are
Mm,
not going to the same destination, as long as you enter the same flight with particular set of people, a flight going to Ohio from New York, we have to stop in New York, whether you are going to Texas before you take off again. So definitely we have to change the direction for us to get this to different destination.
agree.
So the
Agree.
problem continues. It continues like that. We think the same way, we see the same way, we talk the same way, we have the same perspective about life. That's why you say like it's better. to only change. The only thing that changes life is you think, change the way you think, change the way you see, and you begin to do different thing. That's what brings about that's what brings about change. That's what brings about transformation. So the moment you feel like, yes, I'm not like my father, because my father did not achieve all like he was supposed to achieve. I won't say that I'm like my father. No, there's nothing like in my own book. There's nothing like father and like son. No, no, no. I do rather pick up, look for mothers who are where I want to be, or who could probably tell me what I need to do to get to a better place. So we feel like it's a bad thing that we try to pick up another mom, another dad, out there that we listen to. So as long as you continue to listen to people who are where you don't like, that's still going to lead you to where you don't like. That's it. So we
Yeah,
need to
no,
understand.
well said, my friend. Truly well said. I agree with you. Now, for the record, I've got three mothers and two fathers. I really do. So I've got my birth parents, I've got foster parents, and I've got stepmother. So, I know what you mean, Tabaloba. We have to have influence from different places. I see you. Who's just joined us? Selassie. Welcome, Selassie. I see you. Yolanda, your pictures look amazing, by the way. So to anyone who's got a seat in a sports ground, in a real stadium for a big team, it's always, it's a hero in my heart, right? I'm jealous. I hope you didn't win the worst towel award on the day. That's what it looks like, Yolanda. Well, we'll talk about this tomorrow, right? So this is the
Any,
Tell
any,
them
consequences.
more. She has to
any.
tell them
One second.
more.
I wanted to go to reiterate what Topolova has said,
Please feel
and
free,
this is
feel
a
free.
he mentioned the word change.
Mm,
Change is an absolute constant. It's an absolute universal constant. That is something that is always that's very positive. It needs to happen for every human being. It has to happen in order to make it in order for their lives to be completely reversed or completely moved or something. You have to have change.
mm.
It's something that you've got to seek. It is something that you must make happen. And it is because if you do not change, the world does not move. The word does
Yeah.
not become different. The world remains the same.
Yeah. As Tabaloba says, if we don't change, we're going to the same destination, and that destination is normally where we are. Nothing changes for us either, right?
Hmm.
We can't
Nothing changes
expect
for you.
a different
That is
life.
why that is why in the good in the Bible, well, it talks about Jesus when he requests for you to be reborn. He
Hmm.
asks you to give him your life,
Yeah.
literally your life, in exchange for permanent change.
Hmm. Yeah. I get that. Yolanda will tell Jesus and what God says. Give it all to me. Don't give me bits. Don't hold on to different bits. If you want change, if you want different
Then give
You,
something,
me your entire life.
give
Exactly.
me the
you
whole.
remember,
Give me the
remember.
problem. Give me everything. Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Remember in the Bible, like when the parents of Jesus and his family were come looking for him. I was like, they were telling him that your parents are here. Your family was like, oh, whoever does my father's work, that's who my families are. It's not like he neglected them. They don't think the way he thinks. He knows they are not going the same way. To be very, very honest, your environment have something to do with you, but at the same time, your thinking pattern can take you out of, before you know it, you will not be your body will not be comfortable again with it to some second. By the time you begin to see differently, you will not be comfortable in this kind of environment, the kind of friends you keep, you will not be comfortable anymore. Before you know it, doors is going to open for you to be in a better place that your mind is already is.
Mm.
I love faith. The Think I Grow, it was talking about faith. It was talking about autosuggestion. It was talking about a thinking pattern. We were discussing the other day. I was telling you about thinking into results. by
Mm.
Proctor Gallagher Institute. What's the name of this man?
N-
Bob
n-
Proctor.
yeah.
He made this thing thinking into result. You have to think differently. You envision, you think, you are part of the people that I listen to. It's like, hey, I'll continue to go to these people. I'll continue to go to these people. I'll continue to go to these people because whatever I hear any day, it will be like a crack. So people you listen to, that's why even that Bible even made us know that we should not be conformed by the things happening around us, but we should be transformed by the renewing of our mind. So when your mind is renewed, your life will be renewed. Your life will change. You will, before you know it, you will see help. Help is going to come. It's whatever you want that is going to come. So you have to think about it. But as
Mm.
first, it doesn't make sense. Living in the UK and you'll be like, okay, you're a global star, you are a superstar, living in Nigeria, believing that you have been called to change this world, to be this social person to the world. It will not make sense at first. But the moment you begin to tell yourself every day, the moment you begin to talk about it every day, begin to see it every day, you will see it. You will see it coming to reality. You will see it coming to pass one by one. It doesn't have to come to reality one just as once. Everybody that created a business, the Wright brother, they were mad when they thought about the aircraft. The Wright brothers, they're like, what is he talking about? What are they talking about? And here
Mm.
we are. Here we
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Here we are. Just have to stand to it. Just have to
yeah,
stand. Just have to stand to it. That's it.
yeah. No, no, well said, my friend. Look, it's in my world, we have. No, so I've got a team of people I'm working with to bring these conversations to our workshops, and I think we're going to do events on stages as well. And saying, we're going to whatever we'll start in Nigeria or somewhere like that. We definitely will, right? Kimberly, welcome, Kimberly. Eventually, Kim, Coach K, you're here. She said, "Amen to Belover." The spirits will reject the language for sure, and of course, now full surrender to the way the world works, the way the gods work. I think that, it's part of doing God's work for sure, right? Now, when we learn to actually, learn to live with whether you call it supernatural, whether you call it, quantum, like the quantum existence that we have, right? The quantum forces that truly guide our lives. It's all true. So welcome, everyone. Of course, if you're here, my friends, do say hello. So we'd love to welcome you properly. I would love to hear your thoughts on our topic. Okay, my friends, I'm glad. So Michael and Top Level definitely get the idea. But that's how I was saying. I think I'm gonna call myself the speaker coach. Yeah. I'm the coach that just speaks. I don't coach people one to one. I'm not interested, right? Tobiloba coaches people one to one on applying mindset. Coach David coaches people, in how to discover the divine purpose. He's another one of our team. Of course, Mrs. Zion, Mr. Positivity, coaches people how to apply positivity in their lives. So they're all coaches. I'm just a speaker. That's why I want to be. I don't want to be a coach. I'm not interested. That's not my thing, right? I rather publish books, but but I think that I'm keen to share what I learn, what's working for me, and this is one of those things that truly does work for me, right? Now, so please give me a few minutes. Let me do what I will and what I do. Let me speak about the topic. So next week, by the way, in 2 weeks' time, we're going to talk about the power of beliefs, and the Africans really believe in themselves in what they're trying to achieve. As Tavlova just said, they really believe they can change the world from where they are. So that's our topic in 2 weeks' time. I'm sure we're going to talk about divine purpose in the week after, 2 weeks after that with Coach David. And then we'll finally say there'll be a topic for Zion and positivity to talk about, right? Today is all about the power of dreams, my friends. So let me do what I do, and then I'd love to let's carry on the conversation. I guess even when I pause or when I'm not going to just talk for the whole 10 minutes, even though I could talk for the next hour, really. But let me give you an idea of what I want to discuss So I'm taking this conversation to the stage at William Plange's No Human is Useless conference in Ghana in September. My topic is simply dare to dream, dare to do. That's what I'm going to talk about. That's my signature talk, and there's many more topics I talk about. And this is the biggest one on my list. Hence, I'm starting here, right? So here goes, my friends. Look, the saying I was mentioning earlier is simply that all men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake up the next day to find that the dream was vanity. But the dreamers of the day, they're dangerous men, because they're the ones who might actually act on their dreams with their eyes wide open to make it possible. Think of that for a second, right? I'm not really into lucid dreams. I don't know what dreams mean. I don't care what dreams are. The ones you have in your sleep, I leave them there, right? Because they could be anything. I don't know. No one's ever told. No one's worked out what dreams are in that sense. But definitely dreams we have when we're awake, my friends. That's what determines our lives. Think of it. If you really think of it, take a moment, really. Again, maybe put in the comments. Is your life today the life that you dreamt of some time ago in your life? Right. So think of where you are today. Think of exactly where you are, what you have, what you do, what you be, right? As I say, we're all here based on the dream we had. Whether the dream was by accident, whether the dream was, as Abelaba said, based on fear, whether we're like, oh, I'm not sure, I'll settle for this. That's what happens to everyone, right? We're here because of our dreams. Let me give you a crystal clear example. It's in 2004. I had a dream. Literally, I had a dream, right? My dream was I want to own properties. I want to own a whole street of properties, right? My phone's talking to me from somewhere else, right? I ignore that. So I said I want to own a whole street of properties so I can rent them out to people. That'll make me a millionaire, right? And I was happy with that. All I wanted was £1 million. In the end, let's say I made £2 million, right? Which I did. I'm saying, right. I'm like, I've done really well. See, there were two brothers who had the same dream to own properties in London. But their dream was to become billionaires. In the same time, I'm saying that, but as we stand here now, they're billionaires because their dream was bigger than mine. That's what doesn't annoy me. It just shows me the reality of dreams, right? I dreamt to be a millionaire. I became a millionaire. They dreamt to be billionaires. They're billionaires because they did different things to what their dream told them to do. They did different things to what my dream said. Actually, my dream said buy residential homes on normal streets and rent out to families. Their dream said buy Mayfair Hotel, buy central London properties, buy prime properties. And they just bought properties after property after property in prime locations in London, New York. Literally, they bought properties in rich places. That's where the rich people go these days, right? So now they're billionaires. I'm saying it just tells me, I wish I had dreamt bigger, because what I am today is based on my dreams. I'm happy, yes, but I could have a whole different life. It's not a bad thing. What life I have, I assure you, right? But let's come back to the power of dreams, my friends. You see, the point I make is that the dreams we have determines our reality. Given that we know this, it's a fact. It's not imagination. As you said, Topolova, the dreams we have is what the gods give us, right? What you see in your mind is what's going to be in your life. If you're willing to do the work it takes, if you're willing to follow the steps. Yeah. Another way of looking at this dreams thing, my friends, is to think of when you're a kid, right? Birthday comes and you say, "Ooh, I really want that bike. I really want that bike," right? So that bike and that fills your mind every day, all day. You go to mum and dad, you say, I want that bike. They're like, I want that bike. I really want that bike. Please, I want that bike for my birthday, or for Christmas, right? I think again, as kids, we keep asking. We keep the dream in front of our mind. We keep seeing that bike. We live it as if we own it already, right? Because we really want it. And isn't it amazing how 9 out of 10 times we get the bike? Isn't it weird? It's the same. It's the same as for all of us as adults. The dreams that we have in our minds is what we're telling the gods we really want. If we can keep it in front of our minds, the way kids do, it will be ours. But of course, as you say, Topoloba, it's not. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a process, right? It's a process. Welcome, Gladys. I see you. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully your doctor's thing went well. Lots of distractions, but you're here. That's an important thing. Of course, you got the link to join the studio, Gladys, so please do. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on the topic. Mohammed, welcome as well. How do you get successful in your 20s? I'm about to tell you, Mohammed, I'm about to give you I'm going to give you the secret, the first part of the secret anyway, right? It's not so secret. That's the point. Right, my friends. It starts with a dream. Everything starts with a dream, right? Coach K, I see what you said. I think our reality is a result of our work ethic, not necessarily our dreams, in my opinion. I think it's both, Coach K. I think it's both. I really think it's both. There's an alchemy somewhere, a mixture of religion, spirituality, I guess, quantum, which is, the power of the universe. There's greater power than us that gives us that determines what happens to us, right? It's not just what we do. Of course, what we do as well, Coach K, our work comes into all of this. Let me try and break it down. See, it starts with what you see in your mind. What do you see in your mind right now about your future? What do you see? Genuinely, genuinely, what video is playing in your mind every day? Is that video of you going to do great things? Is that video of you being rich, being wealthy? Is that video of you being happy? Is that video of you having 10 kids? I'm saying, what is that video you're playing in your mind? Whatever that video is, turn it up. Turn it up. Right? Because you can. It's, if you turn it up, it probably takes the same energy to achieve that bigger dream than to achieve the mediocre life that could be. It really does. Like Coach K says, it's hard work. I think it's work. She didn't say hard, she said work, right? You see, the way dreams work, you have your dream because that is your God-given future. That's your God-given life. The dream I have is different to the dream Topoloba has, different to the dream Michael has. That simply tells you that we have different futures. Otherwise, we'll have the same dream. But in reality, we'll have different futures, right? So, and I'm trying to get you to understand. You have to buy into your dream. You have to buy into your dream. Look, accept it is it's your gift from the gods. It's there. It's a future that's been designed for you. If you truly learn to believe that the dream is yours, it's your future, it's your gift, it's your divine future, right? Now we'll say, right, believe, have total faith. That dream you see. Oh, someone's being noisy. I think Gladys, welcome. I see you. So I'll come to you in good time, my friend. Right, my friends, you have that dream. You can see that picture in your head. You see, the video you play in your head. It's for you to believe that picture, for you to refine that picture, that video, to be the life you really want, right? Like I said to you, I want to make £1 million. That's all I ever wanted in my life. Whereas if I said I want to make £10 million, that would be where that would be my reality. If I had pictured me being a billionaire, that would be my reality too. I'm saying for you to define your future in your dreams. So what do you know? Play that video in your head and keep shaping it, knowing that it's going to be your reality, right? Because when you do it the way kids do, every day you play the video, you fall in love with it. And not like the kids' bike I talked about earlier, right? You fall in love with it. You know it's yours, and you're like, I really want it, right? And then you say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it, right? You have the gift to say, I want this dream a bit different. Because you're conscious while you're thinking it, right? You can choose. Rather than saying, I want a mansion, you can say, I want 10 mansions. You'll get it. Simply because the dream is going to be your reality, my friends. That's, get the dream right for you, and you can have the life you truly dream of. Right. I didn't say you're going to wake up tomorrow and God's going to throw your dream at you, right? Because what God asks you to do is to do what it takes to be the person that lives that life. That's your task. Coach K calls it work, right? How much would you give out of £1 million? It depends. To my family and friends, cool, blimey, most of it. Because I can turn £1 million into £10 million, into £100 million through investments and other vehicles I know of, right? So I'm trying to give away most of it. That's what the rich people tend to want to do. You want to get rich to give money to others, to help others. Philanthropy, we call it, right? It's what Bill Gates does. It's what the rich people do. No one can spend that much money, really. Simpson, welcome. You say, I like the fact that your perspective is not from one angle. Keep it up. Now, I got my friends on stage as well, right? So you're here. Right, my friends, look, let's come back to the point. You have a dream. Keep the dream alive. Keep it in your mind every day. Play it several times a day. Even if that dream is about your business, keep the dream alive. Yes, you don't know how. Maybe you don't know how you're going to get the dream, how you're going to get this thing done, whatever it is you want. If you want to do it now, I want £1 million a year revenue business. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Again, I look at it like a footballer, right? A footballer wants to score a goal. That's what they want to score goals. They want to win. What the footballer doesn't ask themselves, God, where do I need to be to score a goal? The footballer just knows they have to train hard, keep the dream of winning the game in their minds all day, every day, and keep playing it through their heads, right? I listen to the tactics the manager gives them. And on the day, on match day, they have to get on the field and play. You never know when the ball's going to come to them in a certain position and they can score. They might be on the front of the goal. They might be on the edge of, shooting from a long way out, right? I'm saying, don't ask yourself, how am I going to do this? Just content yourself with, I'm so clear what I want to achieve. I know what it feels like. I know what it looks like. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be on the field of play to achieve this dream. You see, what happens is the gods will listen to you, and then the gods will throw opportunities at you. They'll throw people at you. Suddenly, the people who suddenly come in front of you who can help you to achieve this dream of yours. People that you've never thought of, suddenly, some of them have been there all the time. You just never saw them in that way. But God's put them there to help you achieve your dream. Our job is to notice and be aware of who is there, what is there, to truly help us to achieve it. Coach K, look, I hear you want 20 mansions. It's not monopoly, Coach K. It's monopoly because this is how the spiritual world works. If you can picture 20 mansions, Coach K, I guarantee you it can be yours if you're willing to do what it takes to achieve it. This is the point. I remember the days I was waking up saying, I just want a customer. I got a customer. Now I say I want 10 customers. I get 10 customers, Coach K. I got more books that I'm doing now than ever before. But again, let's build on the power of dreams, right? The question that you have to ask yourselves, my friends, the dream you see in your mind, how willing are you to work to achieve it? This is a good place to pause. Gladys, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? And how's everyone, your guests, audience?
I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I say that I'm doing what I dreamt of. When I say for this whole conversation, I truly dreamt of having these conversations with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to take it to stages, like I said, and do events around it as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, it's a good day. It's a good day.
I like your mic because it's a booming mic. I mean, I can hear your voice just coming through. Like, wow.
I wish I had a mic like that. I wish I had a mic like that. I really wish I did.
People wonder. I wonder if this is God.
Yes, well,
Thanks very much, Gladys, for that.
That's not as extreme as it sounds, Michael. And I said most things are divine inspiration, divine created. It's beyond our control, but we think we control everything. We don't. So Gladys, I guess, what's your take on dreams?
Dreams. Well, never give up.
Hold on, I'm saying the dreams when you're awake, not the ones when you're asleep. The dreams are.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you're awake, never give up. Never give up on your dreams, and surround yourself with like-minded individuals because y'all can bounce ideas off of one another. So that helps to bring your dreams to fruition, in other words, and just have a positive mindset. I know that's, for me, sometimes that's kind of hard, but just staying away from the negativity, that helps to have that helps with maintaining that positive mindset, and just reading, just learning and working on personal development to be a better person, and just being kind. And I just believe that God puts people in our lives for a reason, and I think He will send the ones that you need that'll help you with your dreams in order for them to come to pass, for them to occur. So that's it. Just remain positive. Put God first. That's number one. And I think anything's possible.
Thank you. It really, really is. Marco, I'll come to you. Tabla, I'll come to you next. It really, really is, Gladys. I think, if I don't think many of us realize the truth of that, right? If you'd asked me 6 months ago, you're on God, I'll look at you and go, I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in God. I believe in the universe, superpower. There's something above us, right? Something bigger than us that makes. Otherwise, the world and our days won't go the way they go, right? There's something out there somewhere that controls what happens to us. Except that thing is in our heads. It's our dreams. It's our vision. It's our stories. It's simple. I've come to accept. There is a God. So I don't accept that in a religious sense. I accept it in a reality sense. There's a greater force than us that makes things happen, right? I call it alchemy. It's a mixture of God, quantum physics, quantum reality, and maybe in a touch of luck and what we do and how we think. It's all everything mixed together to give us the future that we have and the life that we have. Mr. Calm, do you want to add to the conversation at this stage? Okay, maybe not. Okay, go on, you're unmuted, please. Say that again.
After Topolova.
Okay. Topolova, again, so anything you want to add at this stage? Okay, you know, again, I'm
Yeah,
to you.
yeah, yeah.
Go for it.
Um, see, you really said something that is huge, and it's something that was dropped into my mind. Like when people are dreaming, they really don't believe in the dream. They don't. Do you know why I say that? I've I think I've spoken to people in hundreds of numbers, if not up to 1,000 or more than 1,000 people. I have like 21,000 community on LinkedIn. And one of the things I do, I talk to them. I talk to, like yesterday, and I spoke to like 5 people individually. And I asked myself, how come you have this dream, this big dream, and this is where you are? And the answer I got is that people don't really believe in it. So it's one thing for you to dream, it's another thing to believe that it's going to come to reality.
Yes, I agree.
So the moment you miss that thing, you miss believing in it, you just be like, oh, and I thought of having this. And before you know it, you see other people living your dream that you're supposed to be living.
Mm,
So while you dream, ask yourself, like, what can my faith carry? What can my belief carry? What is the level of my belief system? I think you should not dream beyond that, or else you will just you will not keep on being fulfilled. So the moment you're able to be dream and you dreamed rightly and you believe in your dream, when you get to that destination, it will now become what we call fulfillment. You'll be fulfilled. It will not be like, hey, I'm not okay, I'm not enough. So people
mm,
who don't dream rightly is when they achieve a whole lot, they have mansions, they have everything they want, yet they still feel like they are not enough or they are not fulfilled. There is no limitation to how much you can dream, and there's no limitation to how much you can achieve. But while you're dreaming, so that you won't end up choosing the word, the bad thing or the wrong thing, make sure you believe in what you dream about. It's
yeah.
very, very, very important that you dream and you believe about it and be ready, just like what Kimberly said the other time. You have to be ready to walk towards the dream.
Mm, mm,
So weigh your capacity. What can I do? How much can I go into this thing? I told you about what I'm really big on now as a marketer is that I'm big on retention, customer retention. You see, many people run their adverts. Let me just bring the marketing one just to close what I'm sharing. They dream, they want that I want to have like 1,000 customers. I want to have like 2,000. But when the customer come, they are unable to keep the record. They are unable to manage them. They did not put a system in place for them to be able to manage them, for them to show them love, for them to lead, for them to be able to give them all they want.
yeah.
So don't dream beyond your capacity and don't dream beyond what you can believe, or else you will not be fulfilled at the end of the day. That's going to
Yeah.
be my
No, thank you so much, my friend. Miss Kim, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here, superstar. Thank you so much for joining us. So of course, I'd love to know your thoughts on the power of dreams, especially I think this is one of the things that holds our African brothers and sisters back, Miss Kim. We don't dream big enough. We don't dream enough. Full stop. I think we don't use our dreams to transform our lives the way our dreams can transform our lives. But if you ever want if you want to add, of course, just flash your mic, and then I will happily hear some of your thoughts. Now, Tobiloba, you say many important things, my friend. And Coach Case, he says an important one there. It's not about working to achieve your dream. Of course, we have to put the effort in, right? I call it will, your desire. That thing called the will. Do you really want it? Do you really want it? How much do you want it? If you want it and you're willing to do what it takes to get it, it's yours. That's what we know for sure, right? Natalie, I love your question. It's like, it's not about working; it's about living. I love that point, Miss Coach K, because the person that achieves your dream is not someone who is pretending, someone who's presenting. It's someone who becomes the person who does what the person who has and does what you dream of is. I know what I just said, right? Look, if you want to be a doctor, you have to do what doctors do. You have to become the person who thinks like a doctor, walks like a doctor, does what doctors do. That's what makes you a doctor. That's what makes you the person who achieves your dream. You have to become that person. It means we have to change, as Michael said right at the beginning. If we're not willing to change, we're doomed. We have to be willing to evolve. But it comes back to that point, again, I think there's a point here that's, Nat's great questions. How would you leverage all those 20 mansions, Miss Kim? And as Tobaleba was saying, on the one hand, we need to be very, very careful of our dreams. I don't think you can dream too big. I think you can dream and then refine your dream along the way. Our gift is to refine the dream. Rather than having 20 mansions, I want 10. The same as saying I want 100. Are you willing to do the work it takes? Do you have this thing called a burning desire? Are you willing to listen to yourself, to God, to your intuition, to refine your dream into something that you're willing to work towards? Now, let's be very clear, my friends. Burning desire is a concept, and as Coach K says, it's a good time to be alive in terms of tools and resources available. Everything we need is here. It's here now. It's just whether we're willing to do the work to reach out for it. And I said part of that is us listening to, maybe it's part of us praying, it's part of us meditating, it's part of us learning, reading, the friends we make, as Gladys said, the people we talk to. Are you willing to do what it takes to achieve your dream, to make your dream come true? Those who have the will, I mean, think of what you do, my friends. We have to do, our will is what determines how our dreams become reality. If you're not willing, if you haven't got the will to do it, it's never going to be, right? Whereas those who have the will, this is where Yolanda, you know how right you are. That's why you've said it, right? See, if you have the will, then the faith that I'm trying to get you to understand, to accept about your dream, as Yolanda says, God knows already, because your dream is written in reality already. It is there. If you're not willing to do the work to achieve it, that's on you. It will go to someone else. I think I understand this now, right? Because, like I say, we have a dream. As we grow towards a dream, as we begin to take action, which we must take. When the gods give us instructions, downloads, call it what you like, right? Literally, we have to take action. And many people don't take action till below that. Maybe because they don't believe, as you said. But believe your dream, take the action, and be prepared to take as much action as you have to take, whatever it takes. Talk to this person, do this, go there. Look, my speaking on stage in Korea starts with me going to Ghana to William Planch events. Maybe it started here on these events 3 years ago on audio. I said, are you willing to do what it takes to make your dream a reality? Because it is there. It really is up to you. It's up to us, my friends. It's a remarkable thing, right? Those who are willing to will get what they want. Coach K, I know you're in your studio, but I love this. I often say God is in your heart and the devil is in your head. Yeah, well, God's in your heart. God is in your heart and in your head. The devil, I don't know how to make sense of the devil, Coach K. I don't. The devil is us. I think as much as I would say we are God as well because we have God in our hearts, right? I think also we are our biggest. We're our biggest barriers. We harm ourselves more than anyone else can by the way we think, or the way we don't think. This is our weird reality. They say, but those who are willing to truly do what it takes, those who have the burning desire. Now, look, let me explain this very quickly before I pass the mic to Festus and Coach K. Right? Thanks for joining the studio, my friends. Right. So the concept that we call a burning desire, it comes from a story of, I guess, an army that went to an island to fight. Right? They had to go to an island in the boats, and they went to go and fight. They got to the island, and the captain says, "Burn the boats." Burn the boats, because the only way we're going to get off this island, the captain told them, is if we win. That's a burning desire. They burnt the boats, and you can imagine. Of course, they won. If they didn't have the burning desire, they might have lost, and they would have all died. So, do you have that in your soul? That burning desire? Succeed at all costs. Do what it takes. Of course, we're mindful of doing the right thing, not harming others. Do you have the burning desire to make your dream come true? It might take years, it might take months, it might take a day, it might take a lifetime. Are you that keen? Do you really have that burning desire? Because without that burning desire, your dream will not become a reality. When I say burning desire, I could use any word: persistence, consistency. I could use all those big words, but no, I say what it is. You have to be so willing to do what it takes. And sometimes what it takes is not just one thing; it's a journey, right? As someone said, once you achieve a dream, once you achieve a step on your dream, you're not there yet. And once you get there, you have to have another dream, because we have this gift to shape our dreams, reshape them. Dream again, dream bigger, dream better. Bigger, better simply means impact more people and have a lot more impact, change more lives, transform more lives. That's a gift we have as humans. It's an amazing thing. You can see why I love this topic, right? Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first? Tobiloba, go on, please. Miss Kim, I'll come to you. I can see you're muted. Go on.
It's a very tough conversation today, and then there's just one thing that I think we don't need to miss on this journey of, like, I am enough. You don't forget, when you think about like what you want to achieve and everything, don't forget the fact that you are enough. Everything you need, it's right within you. Like, you don't have to look outside. You don't have to look like there is something external that can help you to achieve this. Do you know why? It is what you project to people. I tell you, my name is Tobiloba. You can't go ahead and be calling me Michael or calling me Festus. No. So when you tell the world you want, the universe listen, just like the way you guys are listening to me now. The universe listen to what we say. So be mindful of what we say. Be mindful of the people you surround yourself with. Be mindful of the name you call yourself. Be mindful of the thing you see in the mirror when you look at yourself. Who do you see in the mirror? And he knows my story. He knows me for like 3 years now. He knows me very well. All of the things we've become, all these stages we are now, all the things we can call as achievement, is just come through like we think rightly. We want something different. We want to become better. That is it. Nothing much. It's not mostly because we work harder, we do better, or we are better than every other person. No, but because we're able to think differently. If I begin to talk, we won't live here today. So let me just yield the mic back to you. And
Nah, well said, my friend. It's true. It is true. The fact that you can dream something, have that picture in your head, like I say, it's a God-given gift to you. It means you can achieve it. It means you can, whether you start today or start tomorrow, you can achieve it. It'll be yours if you're willing to put the work in to make it happen. Miss Kim, did you flash your mic? Maybe not. Okay. So Coach K or Festus, please talk to us, introduce yourselves, and then give us your take on the topic, my friends. Coach K, we'll come to you first. You're on mute. No, your sound is somewhere. Your sound's gone somewhere. You're shrinking even more, Coach K. I don't know what. No, you're shrinking even more. I tell you. I heard a noise.
What about now?
No. Yeah, perfect. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, I wanted to come on and say hello because I hadn't saw you in a very long time, and I really am loving your perspective. This is like right up my alley, and it's what my class has been over the last couple years, visual mapping, and just like pulling the dream to the reality of the frontal. I did want to make a comment though about when I said I always say that God is in your heart and the devil is in your head, and I say that I mean it. Yeah, I do mean it. I mean it in a way that like that our inner voice is the voice that we hear the most, and so that negative noise that we hear is like, yeah, we do. People do have their opinions of who they think they are, our family or friends, and we sometimes tend to form based on their opinions, but at the same time, long after those voices are gone, that negative voice that we hear the most is our own. And so that's what I meant when I say the devil's in your heart, and I'm sorry, the devil's in your head and God is in your heart, because oftentimes when we follow our heart and we work through the things that we hold in our heart, which is what I meant when I said a lot of people, it's not really that it's work, it's really just living, but there is an element of work that has to be done in terms of like forgiveness and grieving and just a lot of feelings that people don't really enjoy working through because of the way they make us feel. I realized that when we do work through those feelings, the work actually becomes easier because then we are more heart led, and when we are following our heart more, life becomes just living, not necessarily work. Because for the longest, and when I was at my highest peak, it was when I had childlike faith and I just whatever I believe. And what I found out throughout that journey was that I didn't dream big enough. And so I'm always pulling more out of people at this point in my life, because the thing that I wish I had more than anything was somebody to tell me to dream bigger. Like, I didn't dream big enough. I hit my goals too soon at one point in my life where it just mentally threw me off. And so we have to dream way bigger. And I wanted to jump back really quickly about the beginning of the conversation when I heard something about people in Africa not believing in themselves enough. I don't have a problem saying that. I didn't really know who I was until I visited Nigeria, and the little girls from Kaduna told me who I was, and then I believed them. And so there's so much beauty in Africa that if more people that don't believe in themselves, maybe in Africa, link with people from the outside that see the gold in you, then maybe you'll start seeing it in yourself too. Not you, any, because it seems like you've already found gold. But for those that are struggling, just change the people you talk to.
Coach K, I agree with you on both counts. We have to be very mindful of the things we tell ourselves in this journey, right? We're the ones who, the devil is in us. I agree with you, Coach K, because we're the ones who tell ourselves, oh, can I read? I don't think I can. Maybe I can't. I think once we do that, once we throw that seed out there, our dream is shattered. Let's understand this, right? Once we throw negativity into our dreams, into our beliefs, if we question for a second, the way I tend to explain this is that many of us we're great on the first of the month. We're amazing, right? We're like, this month I'm gonna smash it. I'm gonna get 20 new customers. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna earn this money this month, right? And then when it gets to about the 10th, we're like, it's the 10th. Oh, I haven't got a customer yet. Am I sure? By the 20th, we're like, damn, I've failed again. I can't do this. It's not gonna work. And we kill the dream. We kill the dream. Everything God's given us in that month, we just thrown away in an instant. A bit of doubt destroys everything. I'm saying, look, my friends, let me give us a challenge here. Coach K, I have grown a bit. I've grown a bit truly, and I've come to appreciate what the word really is. Of course, I see you, Miss Margaret, Miss Martinez, Superwoman. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. As you say, we are what we choose, right? And we really are. I think for all of us here today, my friends, let's prove to people that this power of dreams is a thing. It's not a thing of any imagination. Let's truly design the life we want, and let's live it in our heads, and let's live it in our lives. I'm saying, I don't care what your dream is, so make it bigger, right? And live it. Let's prove to you. Maybe come back to me and say, I did everything you said, and it didn't work. I bet that won't happen. It's the opposite that will happen, where you say, that day when you talk about dreams, I went away and I chose to dream big, and I chose to believe, and I chose to believe in myself. I chose to put it all in. Look at me now, Let's be the ones who have that conversation with ourselves and with our God and with everyone else, right? Coach K, I'll say this, my sister, seriously, join us. Join us, and let's spread the word. I agree with you 100%. As Africans, we think too small.
Keep me posted on things you have coming up, because I love these types of conversations, and I'm at a place where I can be back supporting others. And so I like to do my part in it. I can't get flooded, and I'm kind of like you in the sense of I don't want to do one-on-ones. I'd rather do it in a space like this where we all can put in to the conversation and have open communication, because my way, your way, and then there's like 4 other perspectives that are still correct too. But I can't emphasize enough on the only thing that was really done right when Blacks were colonized was our dreams got crushed, and sometimes we crush each other's. You know what I mean? And we have to be aware of that enough to lift each other up when we hear it. And so one of the things that I do is I auto censor myself, but then I auto censor those that are around me. Like, hey, don't talk to yourself like that. Like, or I'll combat it, and just, speak against when someone's speaking down on themselves in my presence, so that they understand that I see more and that their vision may be blurred,
Yeah. But I'm on mute, right? I don't want to interrupt tonight. But I talk below about Mitch, Coach K. I'm sure you know her already. If you don't, so now you've met her. So talk below. So
we really know each other very well. It's just been a while we met the last. Don't worry, I'm going to call you after this conversation. I've got your number.
Yeah, my friends, those in the audience, genuinely, let's dream big and go all in. You see how your life will change. Everything you want will happen.
I look forward to doing this with you on a stage one day.
No, it'll be soon. We have a plan to do workshops as a start, and then we're going to start doing events, Coach K. Some in-person and hybrid events. Again, this is the power of dreams, my friends. I could just sit here and say, right, I make money by doing what I do, by doing books, by doing these events, right? I make enough money. But no, see, we have this unique gift to refine, to use our imagination, to use our knowledge of what people need, to use our knowledge of what others are doing, of what the market needs, to what God tells us to do, right? God tells me, Coach K, go and do events, go and speak the truth to them. But speak the truth and let my coach friends do the work, like you said earlier, right? I don't want to do that. So I like doing what
I've been preaching it for so long. I'm so happy. Like, you just made my heart so happy. Like the idea of you just like, I'm going out. The idea of you going out makes me happy. Because at one point you were like, I'm gonna just chill right here in the house, hop on the screen, the background.
Nah, I've grown, Coach K. I've grown. I said I've learned to listen clearer and
Share that smile with the world.
yeah. Well, no, I think that this is my learning, and I think I'm trying to get others to see, and ultimately it's that joy that you get to what we call the fulfillment when we actually do live the life we actually want to live, because we can. When we don't, it's because we choose to tell ourselves something else. Many of us choose not to dream big enough, and many of us choose not to take action to do what we have to do. That's what holds us back, right? You know. I said, Miss Kim, you're too quiet. Calm. I see you're muted. Talk to us. Okay. Are you gonna...
A comment too. Oh, there she
Finally.
is.
I had to respond to a call from my uncle right from the
Okay.
village. How
Okay.
exciting is that?
Understand.
I was
Understand.
I even invited him to join us.
Excellent. No, thank you for joining us. So Miss Kim, right now, so I wonder now, what's your take? Do we dream? Do we understand the power of dreams as Africans? I mean, the dreams we have when we're awake. The dream of the vision of what we want, where we're trying to get to.
Yeah, I love the conversation, Annie, and good evening to everyone. Good evening, our listeners and our speakers. They're dropping gems. I hope you're recording this because this would make a very good book. And I know you're a champion at authoring books. So this is it's quite an exciting topic, and looking at specifically where we are and where the content is at. And we dream, but then, as we all know, our dreams are valid. Just to cite an example, slaves were dreaming of just getting freedom. That's all they wanted. Yet Mandela, in a cell, he was dreaming of a free South Africa. So sometimes, as we dream, the circumstances we find ourselves in, when you want to look at somebody wakes up, somebody in some slum, somebody who is struggling just to get by. Their dream is, I just need to come back home with food for my children. And somebody somewhere else in a big city is dreaming of changing the world. And these two people, could be so much that has to do with the circumstances, the surrounding, the environment. Some, it could be their upbringing. This is something they've been exposed to a lot, and they know I can dream big and I can achieve. So I wouldn't think our biggest problem is not that we fail. It's not because we don't dream big enough. And I wouldn't also look at it because I wouldn't want to think about, first, I would want to respect every dream. So even if your dream is small, as long as it's creating a comfort zone, that's a first step and that's important. But then if you get to start elevating yourself, like any, you have a network of millions of people you talk to, from big to small, with all due respect to every human being, big corporates, small corporates. So what we need to do is keep having these conversations so that we can inspire each other. If you find yourself in that situation, then what you need to do is, can you accelerate your dreams? Can you start now thinking, besides the small little things that you're doing, besides case in point, me and building my entity, can I see beyond just my organization? Can I see my country? Can I see my continent? Can I start thinking on how I can touch lives? Can I, like, one of the things I think we constantly talk about is surrounding ourselves with smart people, which makes a huge difference. As we always say, you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. When you try, I don't know if you've seen that disconnect. Like, I have so many different friends and we have different conversations. And there's some that I know these conversations will not make sense to them. And others, that's where they are at in that particular time within their lives. So we can look at dreams as we should constantly look at them as expansions. That if they're not just survival, but we can be more innovative if we allow ourselves to immerse into dreaming big. We can look at ourselves as we stop fearing the economy right now, where these we can sell to each other fear, but we can also be very inspiring to each other. So we can also obviously we can see inflation is booming and stuff like that, but we also know that billionaires are being born every day. The world has no shortage of money. So let's not look at it as a survival kit, but look at it as a way that we can expand our horizons if we keep on not getting scared of dreaming big. And as they always say, if your dream does not scare you, you're not dreaming enough. So, yes, it will get scary because it's big. Because you're thinking, yes, I can change this continent. I can create jobs. I can make sure that every child wakes up and goes to school. I can make sure we don't have civil war looming in some countries. But sometimes within what you are, within your sphere, there are systems in place that are also sometimes become a little bit of a hindrance. But then sometimes we just want to listen to something inspiring. We don't want to look at all those things that we know they're existing. But it's sometimes it can be a downer when we're constantly and some things. There's always I believe there's always something you can do about every given situation. But this is what I need to do and what I need to focus on. There's little I can do right now about geopolitics, but within my sphere of influence, who can I inspire to keep on dreaming? Whose life can I touch? Within my little economy, what can I do to make sure that somebody's story is different?
Yep,
So I think my closing one is let's keep dreaming. Let's not be scared of dreaming big. And let's just make sure we can be able to inspire the next person to also keep on dreaming.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
No, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Miss Kim. Thank you so much, Margaret. Look, have a good evening. Thank you for joining us. So we'll talk soon, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Selassie, thank you for inviting. Thanks for sending the link out to your friends, who are my friends as well. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate you. Now, Miss Kim, there's something you said there which I totally agree with. You know, your dream does not have to be a big thing. You know, I have a saying from Martin Luther King. It says, if I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. Your dream doesn't have to be big, my friends. It's about what you do to help humanity. It can be small things. I always talk about don't just do things your way. What is your way? That's the dream, right? Your way. You know, of course, I accept. Look, the conversation always comes around to this part of the conversation, Miss Kim, where people say, Amy, you don't know the life I have. You have no idea how hard life is. I don't need to know. Look, life is hard for everyone. I promise you. As Miss Kim said, people are still making millions every day. People are still succeeding every day, right? You know, and as I look at the reality of our dreams in our lives and what we can achieve. I realize that there's African sports people. You know, Spurs just bought one, Mohamed Kudus, a Ghanaian. And God Almighty, he's amazing, right? But this was a kid who grew up in Ghana, playing football on the streets, on the dusty streets of Ghana. And now he's playing for Tottenham Hotspur. I'm saying, why do people think the circumstance can stop them? It can't. You know, and there's another part of the conversation that, look, the greatest musician of our time was deaf. Think of that for a second. Greatest musician of our time was deaf. His name was Mozart. He was deaf. Deaf. Couldn't hear. Greatest music there ever has been. Go and listen to Mozart's music. Everyone here knows who Mozart is, right? maybe don't know his songs personally, but I'm sure how do you create music when you're deaf? That tells me there's no mountain we can't climb. Because like I said, God will give you everything you need. I promise you. We know that. Even if you are, it's as Williams conference is. Even if you are living in the bush, if you can have that dream to change your life, to change other people's lives, you can achieve it if you put everything into it. If you have the faith that we talked about earlier, if you believe that you can, and you take the opportunities, the people, the resources that God throws at you, we can achieve anything, Miss Kim. We can. And I think that we must begin to see ourselves and want to be a better version of ourselves. That's all it takes to achieve your dream, right? We're willing to make the change, to learn, to dream more, to imagine, to keep doing, to keep on track, to be persistent. Rather than me talking to Gladys or Michael, I think you're muted earlier, so please, now, what do you want to add before I move on?
Oh, hi Annie, how you doing, Miss Kim? It's a pleasure, Miss Kim, to have you here, and I'm very glad to have had the opportunity to hear what you had to say. Thank you very much for coming in and contributing. Your knowledge is extremely valuable, and I've always said that, and I believe in it. With regards to Mozart, I believe Mozart could feel and touch frequencies. I believe Mozart could feel and touch frequencies, even if he was deaf, and I believe we all can. It's just a matter of us opening up to our dreams and figuring out how to do it.
I agree. I agree
Yes,
100%, my friend. I agree.
I'm glad you agree, and thank you very much for bringing it up because I didn't know about that either. But as soon as you said it, I understood what was happening. Yes, the dreams, we do need to dream beyond our current capacity. We do need to dream we need to have really, really big dreams because uh, once, then we need to take small steps to get there. You'll be blessed with these dreams when you're ready to receive them properly. And when I say when you're ready to receive them, you need to walk in the shoes of your dreams. And when I say you need to walk in the shoes of your dreams, I mean you need to live your dream by taking the individual steps required along the correct paths. And now, when I say along the correct path, there's a passage that reminds me of something I used to read about, or people used to tell me when I was in church, and at the same time I used to read about it, but I didn't understand it. Where it says, "Lead me not into temptation, and deliver me from evil." In other words, lead me along the path, but do not, but at the same time, if I'm seeing temptation, lead me away from it. Deliver me from evil if I have fallen into temptation. In other words, I do not want the evil. I know I was tempted initially, but now I'm not tempted anymore and I do not want it. So deliver me from it. Get me out of it. Then the last passage is, lay me down in green pastures. Take me to my dreams. Those are my green pastures.
I say
I'll leave it
another
there,
one.
Annie.
Another one would say amen, Michael. We say amen for sure, my friend.
Yeah,
That is so true, right? And again, we can use our dreams for evil. We really can. Whereas we, as Coach K said, it's we can decide to use our dream for good. We have, and it's about living our dreams, about living. When I say we have to become that person, by living the dream, living what God has gifted us. It's a gift. I don't think many people realize, and not just in Africa, by the way, this is all the whole world, right? I don't think many actually want to believe that your dream is your gift. It's God's gift to you. And they always say, our gift to God is about doing everything we can to make that dream a reality, to help humanity. That's what it is, really. That's what our dreams are. It's an amazing thing. So Gladys, I was going to come to you next. So hopefully you come back by the time. Let me just play a quick video. It's maybe a couple of minutes at most. So please do listen from the beginning, otherwise you might miss the point, right? Oh, let's hope this all works as it shows smoothly. Right, share screen, go to YouTube. Okay, here I am. Here goes, my friends.
Quantum tool number 3, shift your energy to what you actually desire. I want you guys to play with me for just a moment here. Close your eyes. Take a big, deep breath in, breathing into your heart. Asking yourself the question, if I could have, do, be, say anything, what would I be doing? There are no limits. The sky is the limit. Breathing in deeper into your heart, asking, if I can have, be, do, say, create anything, what would I be doing? What is my deepest desire? How would I be feeling? Who would I be impacting?
I don't know whether YouTube suddenly crashed on us, but that's YouTube for you, right? So that is the thinking, my friend. If I could do anything, what would I do? What would I be? What would I choose? That's the power of dreams. That's the real power of dreams, because we can be anything we choose to be. And when we choose to be something, the gods will give it to us. That's a remarkable realization, right? That's why I want the world to truly understand, because now I've come to understand. And don't think I didn't learn this by someone being told, and I went, oh yeah, I get it. For years, I'm like, no, that's not how it works. I need to work harder. I need to be better. And my coach kept saying, no, you don't. You don't. Tom Lebo said it earlier. We're enough where we are to start. Gladys, see, you've been quiet for far too long, my friend. Please, anything you want to add to the conversation at this stage?
No, not right now. I'm enjoying everyone else's feedback and taking notes.
Awesome.
I can say hi to Gladys. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. Good to see you.
Same here.
Right. Tabaloba, on the video, anything you want to know that you want to know, I suppose, it is the point of the video, obviously, is the fact that one, we can choose. It's up to us, the life we live. We can create it. We really can. We do. We create it either by intention, by a sense of purpose, with our dreams, or we create it by the evil in our hearts, as Coach K said, the devil in our hearts, or the devil in our heads, right? Where we took ourselves out of what our God-given gift is. Again, I'm always amazed by that, how that 1% of negativity, 1% of doubt, 1% of the wrong path, as Michael talks about, changes everything. It is go all in to living a life of joy. Go all into living your life that you dream of. Go all in to live, be, do what you want. The world would be a better place, and you would be a happier person. You were saying that it's a realization. I think once you realize, once I've realized this, Miss Kim, as you say, I'm on a mission. I want everyone to know, especially our brothers and sisters in Africa, That's why I'm going to Ghana. And after that, I'm going to go to Nigeria. I take my friends with me, Metabolaba, Coach K, Zion, Coach David, anyone else who wants to join our crusade to spread the message. There's many more things on this list of thinking differently. So, today we'll start with dreams. This is my show. So next time we're talking about beliefs, Topoloba's topic. So Coach David talks about divine purpose. There's many more things along the journey, right? I've got at least 4 more topics. And so I want to talk about positivity and the power of genuinely having good intention and doing good things for people, right? For the world. There's many more, right? I'm saying if any of that is, if any of that's part of your bag, your interests, then please let's join us. DM me, join us. Let's talk about it. Festus, we lost you. Coach K, I'm gonna come to you soon enough, but I'll let you finish the conversation. Festus says, so sorry, and I had to put something together. I hope to join us shortly. Otherwise, I hope towards the next one. I love the conversation. I truly love to share a few thoughts on it when the time is right. Above all, the conversation so far is powerful. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you for giving us your time. Coach K, Natalie, why am I saying, Coach K, you're here yourself. You tell her yourself, right? Say me saying it.
So the way that is okay. Oh, so that was to answer her question earlier, because she said when I said I wanted 20, how would that work? And so it's a benefit to those that are in the community. Pretty much anything that I acquire through my company is for the benefit of those that are in the community. So I basically gather things. It's been a plan in action. It's not like I heard any say it today and I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I want 20. It's really more of apartment complexes and multifamily units, but it's always been a dream of mine. It was the big dream that I was afraid to go after the first time when I said I didn't dream big enough. So this time I realized I have to scale up my skills to sell my entire company off to exchange it for the bigger dream of getting people to an international perspective of intertwining in cultures and being able to actually go hands-on and live the dream out. And the best way for me to do that in a large number of people is to acquire places or acquire homes in other countries so that it makes it affordable for families to travel together, because travel can be expensive.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. And like I say, it's not for anyone to question your dream. Your dream is your dream, right? And it's for all the things I've said today, that we've all said, it's what are you willing to put your focus on? What are you willing to put your energy into? What are you willing to do, put all your will and effort into?
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy she asked, because this is my burn the ships moment. I recently did a really big leap where my neighbors, I've shared before that I live close to where my students were living in the same area, lots of first generation students. And on my last day in that complex, I knocked on about 6 families' doors and was just giving away all types of stuff. I gave away my bed, my washer and dryer, pots, pans, just like whatever families needed, in the hopes that, knowing that, not the hope, but going on faith. God, to me, had told me that don't worry about this stuff. I got you, and I'm going to bless you with something bigger in the long run. And everything that I gave away was exactly what I needed to give away to only have where I was on my way to that would be needed. And so I've landed in a much better position after giving away half of a 4-bedroom apartment. And so this is that burn the ship moment for me, where it's like it's either all or nothing. And so I believed in my community enough to say that I'm going to take this leap of faith. And by God, my community is how I'm still able to be here and talking to you guys today. I've been gone for a while. But the thing that was meant to break me has really turned into my blessing. And so I'm happy to share at this point.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach K.
Ah.
It's easy putting it all in, right? It is the leap of faith, as you call it. It really is. I think that's probably the hardest part of this conversation and this topic. Saying we like to think we know better. But the gods know better than we do. I promise you. Whatever you know, whatever your god is, whoever your god is, I say the spirituality of life is amazing. It's not for us to second guess. And so the right thing comes to us at the right time. The right people, the right resources, the right opportunities. It took me a long time to come to understand this. But now I get it. I won't stop talking about it. That now anyone who does mindset learning and sees the effect. But maybe it's the same with people who do religion, those who are faith based, because they've experienced a miracle and they're like, oh, I get it now. I'm going to tell the world. Good on them is what I say. Say I'm right behind you. I'm not going to say don't do it, right? If that's your calling, as Miss Kim said, we have a duty to share our wisdom and inspire others. I'll take it for sure. So, Beloba, you've unmuted, my friend. Feel free. The mic is yours.
I'm just going to, drop my last gem for tonight. We just need to believe like we have the capacity. Just like that's my preaching, right? We have it. We have the strength. We have all it takes. You know, one thing I took in my life, like I started to do in my life, is that I don't um have any mixed feelings. I don't have a feeling different from the morning, from the afternoon, from the evening. My feelings is the same. I'm always excited. I am always believing everything, whether I have millions of naira in my bank account or I don't have anything, whether I figure it out or I don't figure it out. I am okay all the time. I feel okay. I feel all right. I am happy regardless or what is going on. Do you know why? Once you lose your happiness, it will be difficult for you to do what is important. It will be difficult for you to see differently. It will be difficult for you to keep on going. So you wouldn't want to lose your happiness. Joy is a feature. You know that joy is on its own is a spirit. So you need the spirit of joy. Always be happy, because if you get worried, if you get worked up, what will be is going to be. All right. There is nothing new under the heart. If you are going through a whole lot of things now, you are not the only first person, and you will come over it. You will come. You will overcome the challenges. It's not your own alone. It's not your challenge alone. So you have to believe so much that you've got solution for this world. You've seen a problem. I was talking to a lady who got first class in her, being a Nigerian student. Nigerian schools are kind of hard for you to be able to get a first class. She got first class, and yet she's still not believing in herself. She's still believing like otherwise. Do you understand? If you can take instruction for 4 years, same instruction, doing the boring stuff, doing things every other time, it's boring, especially when it is not sweet, when it is not coming, when you are not wasting your life. Those things that get you bored, those are the things that changes life, right? So we need to believe in ourselves more than we ever do. Whether you are in Africa, whether you are from the Middle East, whether you are from Europe, whether you are from America, whether you are from the Asia, the belief is what can enable us to change this world. And always be that different person in the room. Bring the person that brings the energy. Be the person that bring the changes to the room. Don't water down anybody's energy. And for me to bring this to an end, nobody is better than you, and you're not better than anybody.
Thank
And there's always room for more.
you. Yeah.
There's always room for more. Don't stop dreaming. Don't stop. And we can change this world all by ourselves and togetherness with love. I hit my mic to you, my Annie.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's so true. We all say, if we can dream it, we can make it a reality. We really can. It's not about brains. It's not about qualifications. Of course, those might help, but it's about will. It's about that vision that you create in your head, about your belief that this is your God-given gift, your God-given your blessing, so to speak, right? Some people don't like the word blessing. I'm saying that it's your gift from God. It really is. And it's how now I say all we have to do is just live it. Samson, I see, Simpson, I see what you're saying. As aspiring professionals from background in engineering, especially cars and information security, you've done your studies. I don't know, your story doesn't end here. So I transitioned, I don't know what we transitioned into. So but I will say this, look, my friends, there is another gem for you. Do you know Henry Ford failed at school? Henry Ford failed. But what he had was a dream to replace horses with a motor engine. And look away, look at there are Ford cars everywhere. Biggest manufacturers in the world have been for the last 100 years. It's a man who failed. It's not about education. It's about your vision. It's about your dreams and what you're willing to do to make it happen, my friends. It really is. And hopefully, hopefully people will start listening. And look, above all, take action. Look, let me mention this before I give the mic to Coach K and Gladys. If you want to give us your final messages for today. See, I've had 3 messages this week alone. Today's Wednesday. No, today's Tuesday. No, Wednesday yet, right? From Africans. So the last one is the one I remember the most. This was yesterday, and it says, "Mr. Eni, I'm trying to create an agricultural company." I'm like, brilliant, right behind you, excellent. I'm restricted. I think he said I was restricted by funds, lack of funds. I'm like, interesting, right? So I replied. I said, "No, I'm glad you're not restricted by funds anymore." What do you think I can do for you, right? Here's my point. Again, when it comes to the lack of money, which many will cite as the reason they can't do what their dreams are, I think they're lying to themselves. There's no other way of saying it, right? Money is not the issue. And if money was the issue, we all know how to make money. I know it's not easy. I didn't say it was easy. I didn't say it's going to be given to us. I didn't say it was on a tree somewhere. What I mean is that God's given us a thing we can do to make money. We know that thing already. We've probably known that thing for years. We just haven't done it. Whether that's reaching out to someone, whether that's as the 3 people I've done, like I said, they reached out to me on LinkedIn because I think if they come to someone like me, I might say, yes, here's some money. I'm not going to say, here's some money, right? Unless it's what God wants, I'm not going to say yes. That's not the answer to most people's problems. If you want money, my understanding is simply do what you know you have to do to get money. Ultimately, for most people, it comes down to render a useful service to the people who will give you the money you want. I say that very clearly, right? Work out who you need to serve for them to give you the money you need. Begging is not the answer for most cases, and relying on luck is not the answer in most cases. Relying on other people is not the answer. You have the gift within you to make the money you need. You work it out. Go do it. Coach K, I'm glad you're back in full color again. Now, please, what do you want to leave us with today?
So today I just want to leave everybody with the idea of just honestly believing the vision that God gave you in your head, because he gave it to you for a reason. There's definitely times that it's hard, that the voices in your head may take over, but bringing that dream to the forefront and putting action and planning with it is a really great way to stay in alignment with it, and also putting yourself in community. I do want to put the offer out that I will be having um, weekly sessions again. I don't know if I'm going to do them live like this or if I'm going to host them on my Go Brunch platform and upload the recordings later. I have a few ideas and a few classes that I like to offer for those that are struggling in those categories. But I'm with you, Annie, on not wanting to do one-on-ones and doing more group settings, because I just believe that the more people you have involved, the better it is and the easier it is for you to stay in alignment, because in that way, in that setting, you're in alignment with more than one and you can gain multiple tools, resources, and accountability partners. Like, it's not easy, but it can be done. So stay focused and stay strong.
Thank you so much, Coach K. No, great having you here today. No, truly. I'm so glad you joined us. Tobaloba, anything you want to say before we go?
Nothing on my head. I enjoy this conversation. I learned a whole lot today, and let's just keep on going. Everything is available. We just have to see differently. Everything we want is there. Just need to see it. So yeah, glad I was able to do this thing successfully. Hope to see you soon, Kimberly, and everyone who has joined us. Do have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you so much, Tobaloba. So I'm glad you joined us. I can't wait to you talk belief with us in the next episode. Now, Natalie says, Coach K, thank you for your openness to explore this topic. Excuse the delay. She's using captioning and the platform gets hostile, she says, when it's in play. Thank you so much, Natalie, for doing the comments as always. Thank you so much. And Tracy, yes, from dream to reality, Tracy. That's our task in life, really. And that dream to reality normally means making the world a better place. That's our purpose, right? That's our reality. Yeah. Thank you so much. Natalie says it's what you know, who and how you use this, and who you have in your corner. It's not as transactional as you might think. It's true. It's true. But my friends, for those watching on replay, for those who joined late, then let me recap very quickly. Dare to dream, dare to do, my friends. Don't just dream, don't just think it, feel it, and be it. That's the task, right? Of course, on the journey, find the will to make your dream come true. Dream big. Dream big. If you can't dream big, then do what you can, however small, in a great way. That's life, right? That's our life. Thank you so much, everyone. Look, join us again in 2 weeks' time. I've got a show next, by the way. As I'm talking to a real doctor, Dr. Philip Mack. That's his name, I think. So it's going to make me laugh. It's any spotlight. So I'm just there for people to make me laugh. So come and hear some of his stories, especially how you go from a traditional doctor to holistic wellness doctor. What's that journey like? Of course, I'm going to ask him some illness questions as well, right? Because I'm always curious about why things are and why I have illnesses I shouldn't have. If you got any illness questions, join us, please. So I'm sure I'll send you a link, right? Enjoy. Thank you so much, Coach K. Thank you, Tobaloba. You're a superstar. Thank you all my speakers who've been here today, Miss Kim and Michael. So thank you, and for Gladys as well. Look, enjoy your evening. So we'll talk. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com.